Well, my name is Mark Files, and I'm here in front of a workbench that we've set up to show you how to do big items. You see, now you can't do these at farmers markets. You got to do them outside unless you have real good ventilation. But we're going to go through these tools and show you how they work. And most important, you notice I have all this safety equipment on: gloves, mask, and shield. Now I think I'm going to wear the mask off, but it's essential that you use all of these safety equipment when you're working with these tools. And a couple of them I'm going to show you here are so powerful that unless you're really strong, it's not advisable to do it. And the other thing we're going to show you is how to make a clamp on your desk and how to clamp in your big tools. We'll be doing some Polanskis, we'll be doing some machetes, and we'll do ordinary gardening tools like picks and shovels. We got a shovel over there, but you take a regular tool like this, and if you sharpen it, it works a lot better. And there's a way that especially women garden with it's called a English spade. It's a long handle version of this, and with that one tool and it's sharp, you can do everything in the garden. So let's go start down here. We're introducing the tools. First of all, we introduce the safety equipment, and then we introduced the tools. Actually, so here they are. Now this is an old tool I bought at second hand, and what it does, it has it's a very strong engine. It runs at low speed, and I keep a blade for cutting metal. I'm going to turn it on. Now what you see in that is this very low speed, because when you're cutting metal, the lower the speed, the less the heat. Now, of all the tools, this is the most powerful, and then this is the second. This is powerful too, and this is the tool that's kind of dangerous. I'm going to turn it on. So when you're using a tool that's this big and this strong, you have to have your feet apart, your knees bent, all your safety equipment on, and the material must be clamped down, as we show you in a minute. Now, of all the tools, you see these are really strong. They pull 15 amps, and they're as big as you can get without going to an industrial duty. Now, the next tool up on the line is the one that you want to buy. This is it. It's slightly smaller than the others, but it's variable speed. So when I plug it in, it will go real low, or so this is a variable speed polisher, not really an angle grinder, but we use it like one. This is an angle grinder. This is a worm drive. This goes at 600 RPM. This goes at quite a bit more, maybe 1500. And this tool here is your universal tool, because although it doesn't have quite the strength of the other two, it's variable speed. And I repeat, when you're working with metal, it's really easy to burn the blade. Then right here we have, I paid 10 bucks for it. And literally, if you have one this big, you can do most of your work. It's just a little slower. And then we have the universal out in the field. This is my battery operated, and I'll show you. Now, in the inside, I'm using flap wheels right now because it's the easiest. Now, over here, we have a just a metal cutting blade. In this big grinder, you can use this. If you're just got to take a lot of metal, this is the cheapest and easiest way. It's just an abrasive thing that's on the end of a 15 amp grinder. Now, right now, what I have in here is a 600. No, it's 36 grit. This is for doing like farm implements and stuff. That's industrial duty. Now right here, I have on it, I have 36 grit again, but you can change this grit all the way down to polishing. You can put on some of the other tool applications here, and it will literally polish the metal. And when you're doing camping equipment or people's custom knives, it looks good. Okay, now here's what we use. I'm going to use this to demonstrate. It's got plenty of power, battery operated, and we got a grit in here of, it looks like I put 36 in all of them today, but it's quite common to go up to much higher grit. Now in woodworking, if you were using 36 grit, it would just be gross. But metalwork and woodwork are entirely different. Now, what we're going to show you right now is how to work safely. When you use this clamp right here, you can chuck in whatever you're working on and get it real tight. It's so essential. And then, sometimes it's difficult. You can put a block of wood in here and do it better, I guess. Now, when you're using these things, you always go away from you. And so I'm going to do just a little bit. Now what I was going to show you is it's tremendously fast. When you're doing a tool like a Polanski or I'm rebuilding this, it's a matic. And see, I'm sharpening them the same way I sharpen this one. I do work in the field planting wildflowers, so I cut the grasses, so I make a nice angle, kind of a chisel point. The back side's flat, and then when I come down, I can cut the grass. Now, when you're sharpening hatchets and axes, a lot of times you have to take off a lot of metal, because here's what's happened. Over time, the blade was like this, and slowly people just keep sharpening and sharpening, so you have to redo and get that angle back. And it's easy to do it. I generally do it freehand after I clamp it down. Now here's a variety of tools. You can take a regular honing. This got tape on it because we sharpened it and we put some tape on to sharpen it to keep it safe. But these are the kind of tools you can do. And in the next video, we're going to show you how to take these ordinary tools and cover them with tape and other things so that you end up with a tool like this. Because once you've wrapped this in either vinyl or the right kind of tape, and it'll last forever. Whereas if you take a tool like this and leave it in the yuck and the mud by chance, it will hurt it. So, and then look, here's another thing. People don't realize it, but you can sharpen the pick point, and it really makes your work easier. It goes in the ground. I've seen them look like this, and they're just not efficient. And we sharpen this. Now, most of these, when I'm home, I use this variable speed, and I use it at a very low RPM. This tool doesn't have much safety. Now the next thing we'll show you, I showed you how to clamp tools here, because when you're working on big tools, your material that you're working on has to be clamped down. Now over here, we're going to show you the easy way. If you don't have a clamp, you take a board, like a 1x2, 1x3. You lay the tool down that you're going to sharpen. This is a saw. I mean, not a saw, a de-handled shovel. You lay this board across it like that, and you come in here and you tighten it up. And that holds it really good. And then you use your variable speed polisher grinder, and you sharpen the tool very similar to this. By the way, I made a mistake. I was in the wrong angle, and that is a very big mistake. Okay, this is going to blow the air out here. This tool, you have to let this go to a complete stop before you lay it down. And if the cameraman can come over here, you will see that that's sharp. It's done. And it was dull. That's how little work it takes when you have the right tool. Now I would burnish off the bottom, clean up, make it look pretty, but that's the job. If you're working at home, that's all it takes. But it must be clamped down. So let's review, because this is a lot of work is here, but you have to take it home. You can't do it you can do it in your truck or something out in the parking lot. First of all is the safety. Second of all, you have some tools here that are real powerful and you don't really need them. But one tool like this costs about $100, will do all the jobs, because you can replace this all the way up to 800 grit and shine metal. You need a system of clamping that is sincere and good and holds your tools down. You can buy inexpensive grinders that'll do everything. And then if you have a battery operated one, you can go out in the field and work on it. Now the only other thing that we're going to show is that sometimes you take a machete, you can change the angle with these tools. And this once was a lawnmower blade. It got hammered out and made into this kind of design. And this is paracord wrapping it. So you have the ability with these tools to make knives, but through using just any piece of steel you find. Later in the next video, we're going to show you how to wrap tools and repair things like this, because we have two splitting mauls here. One of them here is still in good shape, but it's on its way out unless we work on it. We'll cover it with a hey, I bought this at the second hand for $14.99, and that anyway. So this can be shined and taped so that it's fixed. Like all my tools. You see, here's another tool that you can sharpen. This tool is for picking up cleaning tile, but it needs to be sharp and along here. So all I would have to do is clamp it in, use my variable speed or my handheld, and reestablish this angle. And you can see what I did with this tool. I wrapped it in vinyl, and it must have been hurt because I fixed there's a place where I fixed it here. And this tool now will last a lifetime. And whether we can fix this one or not, I'm not sure, but you'll see when the next thing. But taking a ordinary one and fixing it up is easy. And as far as getting paid for this, generally you got to take it home, and generally people can't do it, so you get $10, $15, $20. That's it. I wish you a lot of luck on sharpening big items that you take home from the farmer's market and for your friends. And one other thing is a lot of times farms would like you to come in. There's huge amounts of work to be done on a farm, from the things that plow, the tools they work, and everything. So in one farm you can be very, very helpful to people. This is it.